Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. Boy, do we have some craziness to discuss, okay? All the drone videos that are being taken by private citizens, okay? Like you, me, whoever's taking videos, all right? Well, a certain three-letter agency, starts with an F, ends with an I, is showing up on Americans' doorsteps who are filming these drone and orb videos and posting them online. They are now demanding that these videos be taken down and deleted. I wonder why. Anyone taking a guess? I'll give you 3 guesses, but you're probably only going to need 1.
So apparently the feds show up if you post those lights on TikTok. Last week I posted a video about those 12 lights that I saw fall out of the sky on my way home. Not at the same time, they fell individually. Well, my boyfriend's coworker also saw them and he caught them on film and he posted them on TikTok. And apparently they showed up to his door and he was asked to delete the video. And every time I use Cape Cod as a location tag, I get a notification stating that the video is restricted due to the location being an invalid location tag. So it's safe to say I was right about them not being shooting stars.
Now, listen to this. Keeping on with the keeping on of the dronage. The 7-year-old boy is in critical condition in the ICU after being struck by a drone during a Saturday night aerial holiday show at Lake Eola in Orlando. Now, this is where Disney Springs is. Every year at Christmas time, they always do like the a Christmas show with drones in the air, and I've watched it. It's actually quite fantastic. And Disney Springs is where like a lot of people go and they do it's like outdoorsy, like Christmas shops, and like you can go there all year long, but they do like really fantastic, like Christmassy stuff. And like there's world renowned like shops there and bakeries there and things like that. And we used to go like every single year until all the shiznit started popping off with Disney, and then we stopped going. But anyway, so the incident happened at 6:45 at night when there was approximately 25,000 attendees enjoying the family-friendly event, and it is family-friendly. It's actually quite awesome. But anyway, so a bystander video captured over 200 drones forming a red and green holiday display when several of them malfunctioned, colliding midair and then falling to the ground and into a lake. And the boy's family reported that he was struck in the chest by one of the falling drones. And the FAA, which authorized the event, is investigating it. And the show is produced by Sky Element Drones, which is a company in North Richland Hills, Texas, which is near Dallas.
Fell in the water.
What's happening? Why are they shooting in all directions?
Get out.
Oh no! I don't think they're supposed to be falling.
Why are lemons in escape zone? Are they supposed to be going?
Listen to this, because I wanted to put this out there because I'm actually going to dig, okay? Dig more than what has already been dug, okay? I hope that makes sense. So there's a woman in Hawaii, and she's come forward with a shocking testimony claiming that the elites are transforming Hawaii into what she describes as the new Jeffrey-like island. While working at a local restaurant, she says that her boss, Jeff, this is not a joke, is involved in a ring. Okay, you get it? Thumbs up in the comments if you get it. That is allegedly tied to Zuckerberg. And according to her, a friend of hers was recruited under the guise of being a massage therapist, who was forced into this ring and remains trapped under threats. Now, She alleges that this operation has been running along for years, with Zuck playing a central role, using private beaches and boats as transportation hubs for traffic tickets. Okay, get it? Watch.
They would try to turn the Hawaiian Islands into a Jeff. I'm going to share the story of what I went through with a girlfriend on Kauai when I was living on the island of Kauai in Hawaii. I worked as a server, well, cook, server, cashier. I was like multiple things at this job. At the Moloa Sunrise juice bar in Moloa, Kauai, which is near Anahola. The boss who hired me there, who owns that restaurant, the juice bar, is Jeff. Can't think of his last name right now, but I bet I could find it. Anyway, he owns Moloa Sunrise Juice Bar, and Jeff is actually a part of a human ring on the island of Kauai. Mark Zuckerberg is also a part of this same on Kauai, currently happening right now. She told me when I got hired on the job to watch out for Jeff. And she said, why? She said, if he ever asks you to come to his house for a paid massage, don't do it. Said, whatever you do, do not do it. It's not worth it. She's like, I would know. She told me this on my first day of training, and I was really like confused, like, wait, what? Like, because I was just like, I thought we're supposed to be training. I'm like, this has nothing to do with my training, but I could tell she was genuinely concerned about my well-being and safety working at the juice shop, so I had to be curious about where was this information coming from. She later told me how she was a slave in the ring on Kauai, and Jeff was the one abusing her. The reason how she got involved into the ring was because she's a massage therapist, and so that's her job, is giving massages. So when Jeff came to her at the smoothie shop telling her to come to his house to give him a paid massage, she just thought, oh, what a nice way to make extra money, I'll do it. Came to find out she unconsciously and was unaware that she was getting pulled in the ring on Kauai. She got abused in this ring for years, and she told me how she was scared for her life and she was doing everything she could to escape, but that there was nothing she could do to escape the ring living on the island because they were threatening her life and her safety, and they knew where she was all the time because it's a small island. So all she could do was try to protect the girls at my job and anybody else who was affiliated with Jeff, to try to keep all these women and young people and children away from him. It got so bad, her being a slave in Kauai, that she fled the island to set herself free and start a new life. But that was the only way. That was the only way for her to be set free of it all, was to leave the island, because they were trafficking her and threatening her life. This is on the island of Kauai, and she told me this story back in 2016, okay? This has been going on for years on the islands, but especially it was going on Kauai because of Mark Zuckerberg is one of the main people involved with this being a thing. The private beaches they own, this is where they transfer the women and the children on boat. The private beaches that nobody has access to except the people who own that property. And that's how they get away with it, because nobody sees anything going on the private beaches unless you're on a boat or something, or you're hiking somewhere that has a view. But yeah, this is why I wanted to bring up my point about Maui and Lahaina, because I know Mark Zuckerberg and Oprah have something to do with all these rings going on the Hawaiian Islands. Kauai was the first one I knew of, but now Maui. I can't even tell you how many locals on Kauai back when I used to hitchhike, because hitchhiking was a thing, on the island, and during that time too. I can't tell you how many people, how many locals in Kanaka would tell me, please don't do hitchhiking for the long term, or you're going to get trafficked on this island, you're going to get kidnapped, because they're we see it happen to so many women and children going missing on this island. So they said especially don't hitchhike at night. The locals would always tell me that don't hitchhike at night.
So before I go, for those of us that buy ground beef, okay, listen to this, because I was like, oh, that's nasty, right? There's a meat shop in Utah, and this butcher, he is exposing the exposed, using red hamburger meat, and saying that The meat that's being sold does not mean that it's fresh. So if it's red, it's not, it doesn't mean that it's, oh my God, yay, it's so fresh, right? It's pumped full of gas to get that red color. And America has no labeling requirement for this procedure. And it's controversial because it makes old meat look fresh. How nasty do you have to be? I mean, dude, how many, seriously, raise your hands, how many of us have our deep freezers full of ground beef? Right on. How many of us have pressure canned ground beef? Right on. Okay, so it's like, seriously, watch. Ciao. Oh, and I will see you guys on Thursday, the 26th, okay? Because I have to start cooking today, okay? So I'll see you guys later. I love you. Merry Christmas. And just be just joyful and yay and everything that goes along with it, okay? Bye.
So a lot of customers think that because they buy a hamburger out of our service case, that means it's fresh. Well, I'm here to tell you it is not fresh. These are gas flush packages that we open up and we put in the service case. We take them out of these bags. These bags are full of gas. But what you're seeing right here is this bag right here, it didn't have enough gas in it, so it turned the meat black. So that's why this meat is darker than the rest of these meats, because it didn't receive the gas it was supposed to. And what you're seeing also is I turned in a credit because obviously I don't want to get charged for that. But that's why your hamburger is red for 14 days, because it's in a gas flush.
Well, it's the end of the line for Big Lots. The troubled retailer just announced yesterday that it's going to close its remaining stores. This is after filing bankruptcy back over the summer. They had hoped to keep stores open, such as this one here, Bellevue, Kentucky, but they said no, they can't find a buyer and they can't find a way to continue. So it's unfortunate. A lot of people like Big Lots that we've been talking to, and here the sales are already underway. All sales are final. When you go inside, you'll see store closing 10 to 30% off for the starting sale. Obviously, the deals will get better as the next couple of weeks progress. Always sad to see a chain go away, especially a discount chain that provided a lot of good savings, but that's what's happening in the retail world. So we're going to say goodbye to Big Lots. The sales are now beginning, and you should find deals over the next few weeks.
Yo, I am so done with humanity. This is real. Apparently, Las Vegas is investigating a group of people that super glued Santa hats on the pigeons. Like, it's not funny. It's not funny. Can you imagine all the pain that's gonna cause these little things?